You're watching Coyote Culture.
Today, the team is headed out to a rancher's property to help thin out the population. And our newest cameraman, Damon,
"You got the gun today, bud." And I was like, crap.
is put in the hot seat to see if he can drop his first coyote on film.
You know, Lonnie said, "Coyote, coyote." And I was like, oh, where? I need to get on him.
That's all right now on Coyote Culture.
On this hunt, Dakota finally came down and paid a little visit.
I came down here to hunt with Lonnie, and then Damon come along with us.
So we were out all morning.
Went out on our first set in the morning, overlooking a pretty long, deep draw. And we howled on that, and we had coyotes respond on that set, but
We waited around for these coyotes for a long time, and they just would not show up.
It sort of just felt like it was one more hill over, next hill, next draw, let's keep going. So we just kept on walking. And all of a sudden we find ourselves in this spot. We're sitting in a cow trail. We were calling, and it was pretty late in the year, so I believe we were doing some barks and some howls.
I knew that there was a prairie dog town right over the hill. We no sooner put on that prairie dog distress and here come this coyote. I mean, and on a mission. It was good to know our terrain. Well, this coyote came in hard, and right where we were sitting was in the cow trail, and he followed that cow trail through that creek and right up to us.
We had one coyote run in. It was pretty good footage. We lost sight of him for a little bit. I was kind of freaking out because I didn't know where, he was going to come in at again. But
he ran hard at us for probably over a quarter of a mile to within 50 yards and stopped right out in front of us.
Dakota made a really good shot on him.
Hungry little guy, huh? Coming pretty hard.
Coming pretty hard for early March. I just told these guys that there was a dog town over this hill. Said I was gonna play some prairie dog sound and stuff, and sure enough, about as soon as I turned it on, wasn't a couple minutes probably?
Less than that even, maybe.
Come in pretty hard. Seen him on top of the hill, and
He never quit running until he got down to the bottom.
no.
We say that we don't remember the easy ones, but that one, when they come charging hard at you, those are pretty intense hunt. And that coyote did. He never slowed down.
Kind of looked like he might have been manged up. Now we gotta pack him a long ways. We got old Damon Wanger and run the camera. Damon, he was just a trooper through this one. I had told him multiple times, you want to shoot this one? You want to shoot? He's like, nope, you guys can shoot. I just want to run the camera. Damon's one of the only guys I know that would rather run the camera than shoot, but we'll let him. Not that bad. Look like a little mangy coyote.
Yep.
Even though it's, March, this area don't get called that much, so you can still call them in on the distress every once in a while. Chances are you're better off using the howls, but you can still get them on distress too. Dakota shot him with the 20-250, topped up a lane silencer and sitting on swagger bipods.
All that's gone.
That's not mean, it's just he's just rubbing that hair off. Little male.
As soon as he come out there in front of us and stopped, you could tell his most of his hair was gone. Yeah, after I got up there closer to him, yeah, it wasn't gone like mange falling out. It had just rubbed off and it was just rubbed down short.
A guy told me when them coyotes start rubbing and they start losing all their hair like this, I always thought it had to do a lot with mating. But they run, and when there's a lot of snow on the ground and they run and they're hot and they lay down. They lay down and then the snow gets hot around them and the snow melts. And when they get up, it pulls all the hair out like this.
Refreezes as they're laying there, as it melts and refreezes. And
a couple of weekends ago, I walked by a spot and me and my wife were calling it. You could just tell where a coyote had laid down in the snow, and it was just hair stuck on it, just like that. That snow, when that coyote stood up, it just pulled that hair out of him. That's what they start getting like. He's no good at all. You couldn't sell that to a fur buyer if you tried. But.
And I'd had a couple people tell me this, and I didn't know how much I believed it. I always thought rubbing was having to do with mating and fighting and things like that, and they would rub their hair down that way. But it's good. You learn something new all the time.
Finally got Damon talked into getting behind the rifle.
It's a whole new set of nerves. Oh my God. It's one thing to miss if you're not on camera, but when you miss in the public eye and it can be replayed, a million times over again, it is a whole new set of nerves.
And Damon didn't know when he got there that he was actually going to be shooting.
This was before work too, so we were, it was kind of one of those deals where I showed up and I think I had just some camo pajama pants and I threw them over my work clothes, and they're about 7 inches shorter than my actual denim work pants.
Damon has some funky get up on. Thought he'd be on the camera, but he kind of looked goofy.
Because if I was behind the camera, you would have never known it. But he actually tells me, "Hey, you got the gun today, bud." And I was like, crap, because I was thinking about that the whole time.
I wasn't going to take no for an answer here. I told him you're going to have to shoot sometime, and just do it. You'll have fun. So
besides that, it was a whole new level of nerves and adrenaline.
We went to a spot where I had called before but not had a lot of success, and that's not the reason why I put him on the rifle. But we had been hearing coyotes over there, knew there was probably some in the area. I look over at Damon at one time and he looked pretty nervous. So I made sure to tell him, just take your time, squeeze the trigger, it'll be all right.
Lonnie said, "Coyote," and I was like, "Oh, where? I need to get on him." I had to recollect myself actually when he said coyote because my heart was pounding so fast.
It was picture perfect. This is a coyote that I'd probably want my son to shoot. It worked out so perfect. He came straight in across that nice cut hayfield.
Don't shoot him yet. Just wait. You're on him though, right?
Kind of had to take a few deep breaths, collect myself. I didn't know if I could put a good shot on him. I really like getting them in super close. I mean, sometimes it feels like they're breathing on you, and when you're there with the camera or you're there with the gun, doesn't matter. You're that close to a predator animal, and it's just the same exact adrenaline rush, or just the thought of, you know, you outsmarted this animal, you tricked them into coming into your set. It's a whole new set of nerves. Oh my God. It's one thing to miss if you're not on camera, but when you miss in the public eye and it can be replayed, you know, 1,000,000 times over again, it is a whole new set of nerves. I didn't know if I could put a good shot on him, so I kind of had to take a few deep breaths, you know, collect myself.
He came straight in across that nice cut hayfield, stopped right there at 50 yards, you know, inside with call in the frame and everything. I mean, it was a picture perfect set.
Luckily I put a good shot on him, but it is adrenaline that I just can't even fathom, and it's hard to describe.
Couldn't have worked out any better. It was a perfect coyote for Damon to shoot for his first West River called in coyote.
Good shot, Damon.
Got one down.
As soon as I watched in the camera that coyote just fold up, I mean, I knew he put a good shot on him and did his job, and that was almost as rewarding as being behind the rifle.
Finally got one, bud.
Oh yeah, took a while, but we got her done.
Yeah. Well, you walk down there and get that bad boy.
I think it was really rewarding for him to finally get it done and not miss, and I think he had a good time. That was the first coyote that I had shot all year, and they're supposed to be a very smart, hard animal to hunt, and it's just knowing that you had success doing that is just, it's a feeling you can't describe.
There he is.
I finally got one down, and it was awesome.
Good job, Damon.
Next time,
Second annual Cheyenne River Classic.
we're headed back out with Dominic Plunkett of Brotherhood Arms for round 2 of the Cheyenne River Classic. The snow is getting deeper, and they're on a mission to down some dogs.
Where'd he go? And Lion's like, just sit down.
That's on the next episode of Coyote Culture.